switching business, right?
That's right.
It's a very big business. And while we're talking, these guys over here are wheeling up some new products on stage. So we're going to talk today about some new things. They're not quite ready to be launched yet, let's say in the next 6 months. But we're going to get a little glimpse into the way we're building products now and how that's different. So what are we going to see?
So, as these guys set up, why don't we walk here and
let's take a look.
Well, we know the advantages of LED lighting, right? Low power consumption, you can personalize, you can customize the experience.
Yep.
Now, when you combine that with low voltage power using PoE, you can provide better control and lower OpEx. So we're introducing a new Catalyst Digital Building Series switch. This switch was done in partnership with lighting vendors, right?
Okay.
So we've got Cree, Eaton, Molex, and Philips. Many of them are here working with our partners to build a solution, and we're innovating in the switch itself. You can reboot or upgrade the switch, and the lights won't go out.
Okay, so this is a switch. I mean, we build a lot of switches. We've been building switches for a long time. We ship thousands and thousands of these things every month. How is this different?
Well, the way it's different is we're going to fully automate the experience. We need to make it simple and secure to onboard not just the switch, but all the endpoints like cameras and lighting systems that are going to connect to the switch. So, we've got a simulation here. Let's cut over the demo.
So this product is under development, so we don't have like a super slick real demo. So Chris Dedicote is here somewhere. He gives me a hard time. You must show real demos, but this one's in development.
Yes.
So we're going to show what the experience is going to look like.
We're going to show what the experience will look like, and it'll become a real product in the next few months.
So you're going to show how this is, you're going to get to this simplicity and automation.
Exactly.
Right, let's go.
So at the heart of this is APIC-EM, which is the automation layer of our digital network architecture. So in APIC-EM, we've already discovered a network that has access layer, has a core layer. And then what we're going to do is just look at the access layer switch. It's a Catalyst 3850. You don't see the digital building series switches connected quite yet. And so what you don't want happening is somebody plugs in the switch, it's got connectivity, it's connecting to the internet, things can connect, and you've got a security issue. So first, we're going to leverage the plug and play capability that's already part of APIC-EM. Yeah, we click on plug and play. We find that there's 2 unplanned devices. So 2 of these new switches have connected. Let's click on that, and you see there's 2 new switches that don't have connectivity yet until you claim them.
All right, so you just plug it into the network. There's no going to configure, there's none of that. You just plug it in, you come to this console, and there they are.
Right, they show up.
All right,
it's secure because you haven't onboarded them yet. So I'm going to select both the switches.
Yep.
I'm going to click claim. And you see a new message pop up.
Ah, here we go.
We identify that this is a Cisco IoT capable switch, and we automatically create a Cisco IoT segment. And we place this switch and anything that can connect to the switch to the IoT segment. We also tell the user that you now need to pick what kinds of things can connect through the switch.
All right, so this is really critical. So the network automatically gets segmented. These IoT devices go in their own network segment, inherently brings a level of security. They can't talk to any other device on the network. Any other device on the network can't talk to them.
That's exactly right.
Now let me say one little thing about this. We all saw, like a week and a half ago, IoT devices almost bring down the entire internet because people compromise any device you put on the internet. We saw it in your little walk-on video. Literally, you plug something in the internet, it gets scanned in like 30 seconds. So now we're automatically setting up that when you plug this device in, defines a segment in the network.
Exactly.
Right, perfect.
And then, so let's keep going. You see both those switches show up as claimed now. And we'll go back to the topology. If I run discovery now, the 2 switches should show up. And sure enough, you'll see 2 new switches appear. If you click on one of them, you can see it's the CDB, Catalyst Digital Building Series switch. It is now attached. But what you see is that there's 0 active connections because you still haven't determined what kinds of things you're permitting to connect to this new infrastructure.
Okay, how do we do that?
So there's a new set of policy capabilities that we're adding to APIC-EM. We already can manage policy for quality of service. We're now going to manage access policy. So we'll click on policy, and you see there's 2 segments. One is default, and one is that Cisco IoT segment that we saw a message for. Now, there's 9 groups that already exist. All those 9 groups are in default, they don't belong in IoT, and they're learned through the identity services engine through an API. So you've set up how do I authenticate, how I do profiling to identify the users and these things in ICE, and we integrate that with APIC-EM. Now what we're going to do is we click on the IoT segment. None of the groups belong there, but we're going to click on lights and cameras and move them over to the IoT segment. And so now, Cisco IoT, that segment, now imagine segmentation in the network, can be very complicated. With just a few clicks here, you're saying anything that's a camera, that's identified through ICE, that's a lighting system, is allowed through this IoT segment, can connect to the switch securely.
Yeah, I always say segmentation is not DIY technology, like you need help, but now we're completely changing this, where you start to, when you just plug devices in the network, the segments are automatically created.
Yes, the networking.
This is where we're going.
Exactly, the networking components are fully automated. Now you're going to notice something here. Lights and cameras are on the same segment.
Yep.
Now, you probably don't want your cameras talking to your lights, right?
Probably not.
You probably don't want that. So let's go add a policy which says we're going to expand the IoT segment. We'll select cameras, and by default, cameras cannot talk to the default segment, right? So we've already got that.
By definition, when you plug these in, it's all automated. Your IoT devices can't talk to the internet.
Can't talk to the internet, can't talk to the rest of the
So therefore,
groups.
No bots are going to get to those things. Nothing's going to get downloaded. They're in a segment. They're off on their own.
You decide exactly what access you want to provide. So we'll click on lights. We'll click on add policy, and then we'll select lights. And we'll go ahead and flip the switch here. We'll say we want to deny access between cameras and lights. We'll click save, and now the policy has been implemented.
Okay.
So at this point, if we go back to the topology screen, we should see, we run Discovery again, we should see that cameras and lights can now connect. And so just like the setup here, 2 lighting fixtures, 2 cameras are connecting.
Brilliant.
Oh, you should do a quick check.
So can we check to make sure?
Right.
So we have to go to each box and check. I have to log into each box and do some
whether it's actually working, right?
See if it's working.
Well, we're going to use the path trace feature in APKM. That we'll just start a new path trace. Let me just show you. You can start a new path trace, select as a source one of the cameras, and select as a destination one of the lights.
Yep.
And we'll just start the path trace and see the path. And as you can see, there's a failure because we're going to block that traffic in the network because you've put in a policy that says these 2 groups cannot talk to each other.
All right, brilliant. So this is the future of networking. This is, as we bring out new products, they're going to look a lot more like this, where we have this idea of simplicity, intelligence, automation, security built right in. The network learns what's on it, does all this automatic segmentation. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming up. Appreciate it.